We're live. Episode 1.
Episode 1 of Chewy and Joe. Oh, what do we call this thing?
I don't know, dude. I had the really good idea. I thought the beers were dads.
I mean, it was such a good idea that somebody else took it.
Right. We got to tell everyone the original story.
Right.
So we were at your pad. It was Christmas.
Yeah.
And we're both dads.
Mm-hmm.
Our children are the same age.
Yeah.
And we often visit with each other.
Yeah.
Kids hanging out.
Right.
And we were sitting around Christmas time. Didn't have work. Having a great evening.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's do a podcast.
Dude, let's talk into a microphone and let people hear our stupid thoughts.
Yeah, we were like, what do you want to call it? And I was like, beers are dad.
I mean, it's very fitting for what we do. I mean,
Right.
because we are dads and we do drink beer. So that would be the...
However, we're not the only dads who drink beer.
Evidently.
Yeah. And we got...
Topic of conversation for today. What do we want to talk about? We want to talk about...
Well, first one's going to be the NFL.
NFL. Big game this weekend. Today is Saturday.
2 big ones.
We've got 2 big games coming up tomorrow on Sunday. We've got Big Dick Joe Burrow.
That guy. I love that guy. He's such a dude. He's
I
so
will
good.
say, all right, so I'm a fan of Joe Burrow. I'm a fan of the Bengals, primarily because they were the foe against the Rams last year when the Rams won the Super Bowl, and I was there, section 500, all the way up in the nosebleeds.
Very true.
Dude, they're a tough team. They got like a young squad. I mean, Joe Burrow's super young. They look good. They look fucking strong. So what do you predict? How do you think they're going to do tomorrow?
So the Patrick Mahomes injury, coming from a guy who's gone through it twice.
Yeah. Got some screws in there.
It's not, got some hardware. It's not as cut and dry as everyone thinks it's going to be. Like, he's going to be not himself.
Yeah. Whenever you got an injury like that, you're a shadow of yourself.
Yeah. But a shadow of Mahomes is legit.
Yeah.
Either way. So I think he'll be fine. He won't be his typical self, but he'll be fine.
Yeah.
If Joe Burrow and those Bengals go in, those first couple drives, dude, if they go down,
Punch in the mouth.
dude, if they go down, right, and especially if they get a stop on D,
yeah,
right, a 3-and-out or whatever, maybe just make them punt. Like, dude, that game's gonna be legit.
yeah.
Like, it's prediction on the game. Who's winning? Don't give me a score. Don't do any of that stuff. We're not on.
Just going.
We're not on
straight,
NBC.
All right, straight. Win, lose, money line. Yes. Like no points, no nothing. Oh man, it's a tough one because it's a rematch of last year. You got, I think a lot of people predicted that Patrick Mahomes would take it last year.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's one of those. It doesn't feel like one of those games where the history kind of matters. You know what I mean? It's not one of those games where you think like, oh, it's just a repeat. It's not like a New England, New York kind of thing where it's like they got their number.
Yeah.
I think Patrick Mahomes like could and might do it. I kind of like, if I were betting, but you throw in that whole thing about his injury, whatever it is. Oh man, it's tough. But you still like, if I were betting, I would say Kansas City by like a fucking hair, by a fucking butt hair.
All right. Okay, so let's transition to the Niners.
Oh, geez.
Against the Schmeagles. So Brock Purdy has yet to have a rookie moment.
Yeah, that's true.
Every rookie, okay, or young cat, any young cat,
right?
Any young cat who's going hot.
Yeah.
There's that game.
Yeah.
That brings it back to reality.
Yeah. It'll snap back. Yeah.
This cat hasn't had it yet.
Oh man.
Okay.
I think with that, it's he doesn't seem like he believes in that. I kind of feel like,
which is the thing, almost like ignorance is bliss.
Oh,
He's kind of like,
oh, dude, the guy.
This is what I do, right?
I feel like he just doesn't understand the level at which he's like playing. And so for that reason, he's just gonna he'll do well. It's like ignorance is bliss. I feel like he doesn't understand like what he's getting himself into tomorrow.
You're playing like the championship.
It's kind of a big deal here.
Yeah.
But no, dude, that guy, I think he's got confidence. He should not have this much confidence.
Yeah.
But he does, and he plays with it, and it's kind of like, all right, well, that kind of confidence does kind of get you to in those big moments when you have to produce or you have to the game's on the line. Yeah. You want that confidence. I'm almost kind of like, I would rather take confidence than skill to a certain extent. I mean, obviously it's in the NFL, so everyone has that skill. But that it almost comes down to that part where where these players are have to reach down to that certain level to make that play. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, I mean, that guy, I don't know if he even believes in having a rookie moment. Dude, the guy's just going to continue to fucking ball out until he recognizes that he's in the NFL.
Yeah. So, okay, and this is what I feel like he has, and this goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Got the old chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm the last pick. I'm this. I'm that. Who's this guy? Whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, there's something to be said about proving people wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, dude.
And so now he's got his opportunity. He has this moment. But yeah, dude, he's playing really well.
Dude,
and he doesn't seem rattled at all.
He doesn't seem, yeah.
But, dude, the hardest job on the planet is to play quarterback in the NFL.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't care.
By a long shot.
Hey, sorry, deadliest catch, and the best burying sea. I'm sorry about all that stuff. I know you guys have a tough job.
Yeah.
But dude, to put the mental, physical, emotional, dude, you got to put all of it together.
Every play.
The split seconds that you have to make a decision to throw the ball, to do this, to see this, to recognize this, it's unbelievable.
It's a tough
Just think about the amount of people that have done that job, and have been successful at it.
Oh man,
yeah. Okay,
dude.
So who wins, Niners or Schmeagles?
Oh man, my heart wants the Eagles to win, but I feel like it's the Niners are just the tougher team. Their defense is just fucking stacked.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be the Niners.
All right.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to take the Schmeagles at home.
Jalen. From your mouth to God's ears.
Jalen. I'm playing the chip, baby.
Yeah, both. Yeah, the other chip.
Well, not Purdy's.
Not Purdy's chip. Yeah, Jalen's chip.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope that's the case.
Good.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I really do want – the Eagles, kind of going back to fans, they're not the greatest fans either. If I could punch horses and whatever.
Philly, baby. They building tough out there. Yeah.
But, forget fans aside, dude, just Jalen Hurts, you kind of want, you want him to win. You want him to get one.
Yeah.
But either way, dude, both games are going to be fucking awesome. They're going to be, I hope, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going back to last week, we thought all 4 games were going to be top notch.
The Eagles dick punched the Giants.
Yeah. Dude.
It was terrible.
The Niners and Cowboys game was just weird and ended on that weird, what, why would you run that play? That seems like a high school football play that just somebody drew up.
No, I know, but dude, it's better than the typical we're gonna roll out and
you have your 5.
We're gonna throw this and we're gonna try to pitch it back. I don't know. At least they drew something up and tried it.
No.
I know, obviously,
well, dude, in
Ezekiel Elliott ended up Wile E. Coyote in the ground. He got pancaked.
Dude, that guy got blasted.
Yeah, it was not good.
Oh,
not good for that
man.
kid.
It was embarrassing.
Okay. So speaking of getting rocked on the football field, you do not have a son.
No.
You have a daughter.
A daughter, yeah.
Sweet gal.
Yeah.
Sweet pea. Let's say you had a son.
Yeah.
The CTE fiasco, the players being safe, the yada yada.
Yeah.
Do you? Because this question has been asked to me because I have 2 sons and I'm a high school football coach.
Yeah.
Do you let your son play?
Yeah.
And at what age? Or not at all, or whatever.
All right. So, do I let my son play? I would let my son play. At what age? That's the where. At what point? High school is. I mean, that kind of seems like whatever you're gonna do. Again, kind of going back to those statistics. Is your son gonna make it in the NFL? Is he gonna be in the NFL?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, in all likelihood. But
not.
Could your son get a scholarship to a great, university and go there for a few years, pick up, some kind of degree, and then come out of it, get a business degree or something?
Sure.
Yeah, and have that experience. And then, I don't have to foot the bill for that. Would say getting them in at a high school level, at that would be kind of like the point that I would say yes.
Okay.
Before that, it's kind of like, well, all right, well, are we risking injury? I think the days of doing like Oklahoma drills and all that, I don't know. I think those are done. I think those are done.
We don't even, dude, I don't even do those.
Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
I think everyone understands that, putting 2 kids against each other and just having them fucking rock each other is not the right way to go.
Yes, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, no matter how much protection they have on them.
Okay, so you're a little dude. At what age is he playing?
I think I'm doing like freshman or sophomore year of high school. Yeah. I think so.
No Chiefs.
No Chiefs.
No
man.
OC Chiefs.
No. I think I'm going soccer. I think I'm going like something like with less less. I don't know. I mean, is soccer less like? Do you have less concussions? I know they kind of go up for headers and stuff and kind of like. But if that's the case, then I'm going soccer. I don't know, track, shot put, something.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, how about you? I mean, what's your, where are you going?
Okay.
And this might be different because
Right.
you're a head coach and you that's your
Yeah.
your pipeline of like players coming in from.
No, so if my sons wanted to play, like, dude, they're gonna play.
Yeah.
Like if they want to start off with flag football and then gradually make that transition to tackle, like for sure. I feel like as a dad, a coach, that I can coach it properly to where they're going to be safe.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I trust myself in that sense of like, I'll get them going, get them through it, teach them properly and stuff like that. Can you prevent everything? No.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
shit's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's just gonna happen on the field that you just can't control.
You could step off a curb and like hurt yourself. Like it's just, it is what it is. But I think there's something to be said for high school football, how it's something that is really special.
Oh, dude.
And if your life's this big, dude, that high school football moment is that big.
It's so impactful.
Dude, it's so huge.
So impactful.
It's so huge.
It has such a lasting impression on you. And there's a reason why we always kind of reference it and why we always kind of talk about, those times because, you played at NAU, you played at OCC, NAU. You have those memories, but those aren't the things that stick out. Those aren't the ones that like were, they kind of made you a man. You're already kind of like galvanized. You're already kind of like in that. The high school years, those, kind of what we're talking about with like Petrie is like those times where you are, you're made. It come at the high school level. It's such a specific time in your life where you're kind of coming into yourself and you're figuring yourself out. And it's like you're figuring out yourself with your teammates. You're overcoming adversity. You're pushing yourself.
Dude,
you know what I mean? You're doing one more. You know what I mean? You're like doing one more wind sprint or gas or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're doing one more rep, and you're kind of figuring out like how much more you have. And that at that level, you don't do that in junior All-American.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like
you don't do that in PE.
You don't do that in PE.
Yeah, you don't do that in
Elmo PE.
Yeah.
Well, you might with Jay Mitch as the PE.
We're playing a lot of dodgeball.
That's at that level. That's where you're kind of figuring yourself out and kind of preparing you for that next level, preparing you for the college, for the whatever. I mean, not even just like with sports, but kind of preparing you for life.
Yeah.
Figuring out like what you're going to do next and kind of getting yourself prepared for that. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
And everyone goes through that portion, right? Because that's what high school is, right? You come in as a freshman, you have no idea. You're like, oh, like figuring it out.
Oh, yeah.
Sophomore year is probably the worst year because you're a tweener.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I'm not a freshman anymore, but
yeah, you should know more, but you don't know more.
But I'm not a dude. I'm not a senior yet, and you're kind of like, ugh, like I'm not sure. That year is like the worst year.
That's
Your junior year, you're like, I got it.
Yeah.
Senior year, you're like, slam dunk. I'm riding this through. Like I got it. But dude, those 4 years, right? Because everyone goes through that transition.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go through that transition, do it with football.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna it's gonna I don't know. It's gonna blow up the picture even better. And more clear for you, and it's gonna every aspect is gonna make you better.
Yeah. There's like life lessons in all those things. It's like kind of like when talking about digging deep and finding that extra one. You know what I mean? And Coach Hitch was like he would always kind of push you at the end of practice once you've done all your shit, whatever individual drills, you've done team drills, you've done, pursuit drills, special teams, all of that. All right, time to run some gassers. And every time that you think that you don't have enough or you don't have any more in you, all you have to say is dig deep, one more, find, and you fucking find it. And you find that one more, and that kind of lesson of knowing that you always have more in the tank, kind of you can take that into your personal life. You can take that into your professional life, in your whatever, and just go, hey, whenever I think I don't have enough, dig deep, you'll find one more.
Yeah.
You'll find one
and
more.
You know what's weird is we grew up playing sports. And so we grew up thinking you got one more, you can do it.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
That everyone has it.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah, that's not the case.
It's not.
Yeah.
So as I've gotten older, been teaching a lot of years now, been coaching a lot of years now, and I've come across a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Even parents of these kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
It ain't the norm.
not everyone's got that extra one in them, right? And it's
yeah.
And it just kind of blows your mind of
yeah,
what, no,
how important that lesson
was. Why don't you do that or whatever? I don't think twice about it.
Yep.
But to them, that's why?
It's not the norm. It's not,
that's
it's
too
not
much.
Why
are you doing that? It's no, that's not. That's what you do.
Yeah. And dude, even passing that on to our kids, and you do that, I know that, and I do the same, is you pass that on to your kids, is you're trying to instill that same thing. But without those lessons back in the day, you wouldn't be able to pass that on. You wouldn't know those, how to dig deep and find that one more. You know what I mean? So it's just, I mean, so for that reason, I would say, from your original question, high school, you learn that. Junior All-American, maybe it's not kind of taught as much. Okay. For sure, freshman level, get them in there at that point. Yeah, it's on. Okay. I would encourage my kid, my daughter, my son, whoever it is, to pursue what they want to do. If they have a drive to do that, and that's the biggest thing that I would hope for. I would hope that for my daughter, for Mila, and for your two kids, is they have drive to do something. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, being the real estate guy, coach me up. I've never purchased a home.
Yeah.
I've never purchased a piece of property.
Yeah.
My wife and I and our children, we've rented.
Yeah.
How do I buy a home in California if I want to stay?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, the weather.
Yeah. Totally different
how
than
do I do it?
Back east. Yeah. Like you said, 1,000,000 acres. You can buy half of the state of Texas for $30,000. You have what you hear. Yeah. You got a fucking pack of gum and and a couple bucks in your bank. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll give you an acre. No, It's different out here for sure.
Coach,
But
because I don't know anything. Like
yeah,
literally, I don't know. I don't understand it.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand that process, and it could be a pretty simple one. I mean, you can make it as complicated as you want, but in short, the process is you find a property that you like, you work with a somebody who can give you a loan, somebody who will take your credit score, take your income,
And that's
take
the
your
bank.
money. It could be a bank, it could be a private lender, it could be
What does that mean? What's a private lender? Bank, I know.
so a
Wells
bank,
Fargo,
yeah, Wells Fargo,
B
Bank of
of A, or whoever. Yeah,
America, Orange County Credit Union, whatever. Those are the big ones.
yeah.
But then you have private lenders who will essentially what they do is they give you money based on your criteria, based on like how much you make, how much money you have saved up, and your credit score.
Okay.
And they'll say, all right, you will qualify you for X amount of dollars. And let's just, for hypothetical reasons, say, we'll qualify you for $500,000. You can go out and shop around for $500,000. That private lender will then, once you get into a loan, will take that loan and he'll sell it off on the secondary market. And the secondary market,
See what like?
well,
I'm
it's-
gone. You lost. You
no,
lost me. I
that's
don't,
like you've heard of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. If you've heard those names before,
yeah.
those are institutions that purchase 30-year fixed loans or just like different loans. And what they'll do is they'll hold on to them, and then they'll collect interest over the life of the loan, and that frees up the private lender to let somebody else borrow money. I mean, it's
Okay, let's skip
somewhat
let's skip the private lender
okay.
or a private. Like I doubt I would get one, right?
You
like
could,
say
no,
I wanted to
you
get one,
could absolutely. You can go private lender. You can go private lender.
but how would I even find one?
I mean, we like real estate agents have people that they work with that
Okay, so that would be on your end.
that would be on my end.
Okay.
I would like put you in touch with the private lender to say, all right, here's somebody that I've worked with that I trust that will guide you. They'll take all your information on how much money you make, credit score, and all that.
Okay.
And they'll give you kind of like a figure on what they call it pre-qualified. When you hear that term pre-qualified, it's like they've done all the vetting on how much you make, how much you have for in savings, like a down payment, and then how much you have in reserves. And they'll say, all right, you can qualify for X amount of dollars to go out and shop for a house in this price range. And that's, it can be anywhere 500,000, 6, 700,000, up to $1 million, $2 million, whatever it
Yeah.
is, depending on how much money you make. So at that point,
I
then,
am buying $1 million house.
but once you have that, once you
No,
have
I got
that
you. I got you.
pre-approval, then you go out and just like it's like you go out and kind of shop for prices that are in, or shop for houses that are in your price range. At that point, once you find a place that you like, you will put out an offer on a place on that property, depending on the price, and how much you want to pay for it. And it doesn't have to be the exact price of that property.
Right. You can lowball them, right?
You can
or not like a
lowball,
little
you can-
bit, or you
depending
can,
on the market. So
Right.
right now.
Okay, that's the other thing that gets me. The market.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like the market is like this invisible thing that I've never seen before.
It is. It's completely invisible. And here's what.
I
Let
don't
me
get it.
explain the market in like, what's the market value on a property? I mean, just like with anything, it's what people will pay for an item for in that current like time.
So like eggs right now.
Oh
are
my God, dude, eggs. That's a perfect
Through the roof.
example.
The old toilet paper of 2020. right there.
2020, toilet paper of 2020.
What a
That-
fiasco. What
dude,
a fiasco that
Oh,
was.
dude, like face masks of 20, early 2020. It's whatever the market will dictate what the price is. And if
Okay.
there is a shortage of an item and there's a high demand for an item, the price is just inherently just going to go up. So with real estate, I mean, it's one of the very few items that there will never be more, they'll never create more real estate in Southern California, anywhere in the world for that matter. It's defined. This is the amount of space that is, land, parcel of property. It's already been determined. The only thing that changes is people will sell their property. People will, people's situations change, and they either need to get rid of their property or sell it, or they just want to like move to another state and like sell it. And that's where your inventory comes from. That is because inventory is determined by the people who are selling it. There's not an infinite amount of this product. There's a finite amount of this product called real estate and homes and properties. So market value is what people will pay for that product in a specific time. Now, a couple years ago, the interest rates were very, very low.
Okay.
They were.
Let me pause you.
Yeah.
Interest rates.
Yeah.
What is that even?
So interest rates are the amount that a company or a bank, let's say, will charge you in order to let you borrow this money. And it's an annual. So what they do is they take, you've heard the numbers, 2.5, 3, 5, 6,
Exactly.
7, 8%, whatever it is.
1.8 interest rate or whatever.
They'll take, so if you borrowed from a bank,
Sure.
$500,000, let's say, to buy a house, you put whatever your down payment was, and you said, I'm going to borrow $500,000 from this bank. And the bank said, yeah, sure, we'll give you this money, but we're going to charge you 5% interest.
Okay.
Now, that's not the case right now. It's a little bit, higher, and it kind of fluctuates. But just for argument's sake, we'll call it 5% interest.
Okay.
They'll take 5% of what you borrowed over the course, and the mathematical equation is 5% over the course of a year. How much is that? And then, I don't have a calculator in front of my face, but
See,
25,000.
That's what gets me
25,000.
Where it's like when someone said, like, that's the part that, like, I don't know, turns me off or whatever. But when someone's like, well, the interest rate, that'll get you the 2.8. And I'm like,
well, there's a big fluctuation.
Like, I feel like these old guys, whenever I talk to old guys, dude,
yeah.
they're like, man, that interest rate. And I'm like, oh.
Well, there's a big fluctuation between a 3% interest rate and a 5% interest rate.
Okay.
And not to get into the weeds and like the specifics of the numbers, but you're talking about thousands of dollars month over month.
Okay, so I'm paying the bank.
Yeah.
Okay, so this part gets me too. And I swear to you, I have no idea how this stuff works. For two reasons. One, I don't have an interest in it.
Yeah.
And two, I get lost.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's millions of people like me. Like, it's just
yeah.
a huge turnoff. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Just the way my brain works.
Yeah.
So I go to you. I say, hey, I want to buy a house.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. We go through that process, loan, et cetera, et cetera. When I make my mortgage payment, correct?
Yeah.
I'm paying the bank, or I'm paying, like, who am I paying? Because whoever I bought the house from, they get their money from the bank.
Yes.
Or, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because my parents sold their home.
Yeah.
And the people who bought it, I don't think we're writing them checks.
No.
Right? So it's like the bank does the
sure.
deal.
So the way that works is the bank essentially will pay whoever it is that is selling their house. Okay. So in the scenario where your parents bought or sold their house,
the bank
says, okay, we are giving you the money on behalf of our clients, the bank or the borrower,
people buying it.
Yes, we're going to pay you the amount of money that you've asked for, which in this scenario, let's just say, again, hypothetically, it's $500,000.
And then they're paying the bank.
And then the borrowers will pay the bank back the money that they've asked for.
So the banks really own the houses.
The banks do own the houses, yeah. And in California, it is. I mean, you pay a note, like technically you pay your mortgage and you pay your note, but it is... The bank essentially kind of gives you the right to do whatever you want to do with the property until you pay them back. And then once you've paid them back, it's completely yours.
Well, when you're like 90 years old.
When you're 30 years past whenever. So like if you were to buy a house now and at the age of
When I'm 75.
you would own the house outright, and you can do what you want with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of the things. It's like one of the biggest, one of the ways to like kind of build wealth. The easiest or kind of quickest ways to build wealth.
Right, because to buy property, right?
Yeah, because the amount of growth that you have in a property, in a house, is so much more than whatever money that you invest in in anything. You can put 20% down on a property, or you can even go less than that. You can go 5%, 3%. Like there are ways to get into like to purchase a property that aren't the traditional, like what you hear about 20% down.
Yeah.
And in fact, I mean, more often than not, that's like what people do is they don't get into properties like holding on to 20% down until they're ready to buy.
Okay, let me ask you that because even for myself, like, I don't know, just being a little bit like, ooh, I don't know how much money I have. Like, do I have as much money as the next guy or whatever?
Yeah.
So, like, how much money do you need to have in your checking, in your savings? How much do you need to have monthly? So those three things, like checking, savings, and what you bring home.
Yeah.
To go and be like, you know what, I could buy a home.
Yeah.
Like what do you need in those?
So there are conventional loans, and it all kind of depends on which way you want to go. You can do a conventional loan and do as little as like, let's say 5% down, 5% of your purchase price of a property. Now, what you can afford monthly will be dependent on how much you make, your income, your combined income, and how you like which way you collect your income.
So there's like people who figure all this out.
Yeah, the lender will figure out take exactly how much you make. He'll take exactly how much, like in which way you make it, because there are different ways that you can collect income. You can collect income on, let's say, a 1099, which is somebody, a business just pays you a check. You're not on payroll. You just collect a certain amount of money every month, quarter, year, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they just give you a non-taxed X amount of dollars that they're going to just write you a check for.
Sure.
At that point, when you collect that money, it's on you to pay your taxes on that money, right? So a lender will take what you've made. Now, you can apply that to your income based on how much time you've been with that kind of company. Okay. Because 1099, there's not a lot of security in the way that you're paid.
Right, because you're kind of like an independent contractor.
Yeah, you can be fired at any point.
Right.
And it all comes to security and what you're able to pay back.
Right,
the
so
banks,
like a W-2.
Yes.
So a W-2, right, which I am, would be completely different from, say, my wife, who's a 1099. Yeah.
Yes. So a W-2 employee, there are security measures in place, like unemployment. If you get fired for whatever reason, if you get laid off, you have unemployment benefits that you can collect. So there is income that can kind of come to you if you were to get laid off. So for that reason, a W-2 employee is kind of like looked at as being more secure than a 1099, because there is no safeguard in place if your wife were to get fired or just like let go and her contract canceled. It's kind of like, well, there's no
tough cookies.
Tough cookies. Go find another place to work.
Yeah.
I will say the amount of money that you will, like the amount of equity, when they call equity.
I've heard that term.
Yeah. You talking about equity?
Nothing up here. I don't get it. What does that shit even mean?
Equity is just the amount of money between the amount that you owe and how much it's worth. You can have equity in any.
So, like, what does that even mean?
All right. Let me give you. Your truck. Your truck.
Dumb as dirt. My truck is old as dirt.
Your truck is old as dirt.
Yeah.
But it is a Chevy Silverado. It is.
Y'all hear that?
Prime.
Chevy
Primo.
Silverado. 2001.
White.
Yeah. Hand me down.
With tinted windows.
White.
It shakes.
Center console's broken.
Oh, dude. That's the least of its
the
worries.
check engine light is on.
It's never turned off.
Still waiting for that bad boy to turn off. Playing the long game on that.
How much money do you owe on that?
Nothing.
0. You know how much equity you have in that?
Thank you, Matt Mitchell.
How much could you sell it for right now?
Dude, I have people coming by who stop and see my truck and ask to buy my truck all the time.
Yeah.
You would be shocked.
I wouldn't be, because it's a solid truk.
Dude,
it is a solid truck.
But if you were to just tell the
All right,
average
what's
Joe
the price?
Schmo.
What's the price? How much do they
asking
offer
me?
you?
I have no idea.
The amount of wealth that you'll build purchasing a house, no matter how much it is, paying whatever it is that you're paying yourself. Think about like how long you've been paying towards your rent.
A rental, yeah.
All that money you're paying to someone else. If you were to own that property, you're paying yourself back in equity. The amount of money that you owe compared to how much it's worth is equity. Your car, your truck right now, even if it were $6,000 that guy could like pay you,
it ain't worth it.
that's $6,000 in equity that you have because you owe nothing, and this is how much somebody would pay it, market value.
So it's worth $6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelley Blue Book might say it's worth $1,400, but it's what market value. That's how much. That's your equity. The amount of money that you owe on a property compared to how much it's worth or how much somebody would pay for it. So, if you owe $500,000 on a property and it's worth $1 million, you have $500,000 in equity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So let's wrap this up because I think that's going to die for sure.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. J Mitch, Chew Dog, signing out.
Coach Mitch, Anthony Anaya.
Anthony Anaya.
There you go.
Realty Anaya, Caliber Real Estate Group. Yeah. Subscribe, like, do all the things to keep on listening to this. And,
Elmo football.
Elmo football. Let's go.
Yeah.
And that was the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to hear more of us. Otherwise, we'll be back next week for another edition of this podcast. In the meantime, take care. Talk to you.